Hello, ladies and gentlemen. For all those people who did not raise their hands, if they are fans of Bigg Boss, I can tell you that's the fandom of Bigg Boss. Nobody says it in public.
Actually, I was about to say this, Anna.
Exactly. Welcome to this unique masterclass on Bigg Boss as a cultural phenomenon, as an entertainment phenomenon, as a complete, is a concept that's blown over this country over very, very long. With me are, as you can read here, big bosses from multiple languages, and by which I mean, obviously, they're not the anchors, that's usually the movie star, or they're not the Bigg Boss sound, that's also a voice actor, but these are guys who run the Bigg Boss in Hindi, in Marathi, in Malayalam, in Kannada, in Telugu. With them is their big boss, that's Rishi, the CEO of Banijay Asia and EndemolShine, and the big boss of them all, as it were. I'm just groaning under the weight of so many bosses on one table, man. So I'm going to start with you, Deepak. Let's get straight to the point of Bigg Boss. Firstly, it's a cultural behemoth. Can you explain to me why? How did this happen? I mean, there was the Big Brother, yes, and then it came to India. But what explains this phenomenon that you've managed to go multiple languages and survive over so many years, and of course grow from even television to OTT and online, of course?
So thank you for organizing this, Anil and Mayank. It's taken us many years to actually get all of them together. It's impossible what we pulled off. To me, it's quite a coup to have really pulled this team, and they are really the superheroes of what really happens. This team together produces close to 800 days of Bigg Boss in a calendar year. And that's how big it is in terms of size, scale, volume. When I say this in any global forum to some of my shareholders, they always say, "Can you just repeat that?" I said 800 days in 365 days. That's the size and scale and volume of production. And we're only wanting to touch the four-figure mark and get to 1,000 days a year. So we're not stopping. But thank you again. But, I'm just going to just pull back. We've reached 800 days.
Yeah.
But back in 2005, when I brought this format in the country, people were wondering, what the hell are you thinking? What are you doing? This is not going to sell. There were so many questions. Is this even content? This is, this is sleaze. This is semi-porn. Because the UK versions or the US versions, the Australia versions are really out there. But obviously the big part was really culturally taking the format and really adapting it and really landing it in the market. And we've made this for the single TV audience back in 2005. The journey of this started when I flew down to Amsterdam to buy this format and bring it down into the country. So really, it's been quite a journey for me personally with the show to really piece this slowly, steadily, and put the entire jigsaw puzzle together. I'm very excited that not that we're doing 800 days of this show in a year and we're wanting to touch 1,000 days, but the fact that we've managed to bring this entire team of producers together. So to me,
I think that deserves another round of applause, guys. It seems easy, but clearly it has not been. It's like bringing from the back-end version, bringing Mohanlal here, bringing, of course, Kicha Sudeep here, bringing Salman Khan here, all into the same, because you guys are running that show.
No, absolutely. There's somebody who's telling Salman what to do. There's somebody who's telling Kicha Sudeep what to do. There's somebody who's telling Mohanlal what to do. Somebody who's telling Vijay Sethupathi what to do. So these are the producers, creators, superheroes who are really orchestrating it. So while it is absolutely unscripted, but really creating content with that unscripted content is quite a.
So back in 2005, Deepak, when you brought this show and you bought this show in Amsterdam, as it were, and you knew what was the Australian version of it or the UK version of it, what did you think first in terms of making it? Firstly, before we get into other language versions, an Indian version of it, how would that be different from the way Big Brother works globally?
Well, I can start, but, I can promise you that, we won't stop in 30 minutes. This is a long story, but I'll cut this short a little bit. The first big thing was, I negotiated this contract, brought this, to a closure. And the next call I made to somebody in Amsterdam, and, in 2005, India was like a distant dream for people sitting in Europe when we were creating content. And the next call I made to them was that, okay, contract done, but I'm not going to call this Big Brother, I'm going to call this Big Boss. So they said, what? You're paying so much money for the show, for the title, but you don't want to call it Big Brother. I said, no, I don't want to call it Big Brother. I want to call it Big Boss. So multiple calls and voice calls and all of that later, they finally agreed, saying, okay, we are making our money. You do what the hell you want with this. And, to me, Big Boss was such a colloquial, local term, so it had to start with the title. It had to start with the emotion. Whenever we greet somebody, we say, hey boss, hey big boss. It's something that we use in our normal vocabulary. So to me, that was the genesis of really trying to make this very, very, very localized. And the second call that I made many months later again was that, thank you for allowing me to call this Big Boss, but my big is with a double G. So imagine somebody in Amsterdam saying, this guy is nuts, he's paying so much money, and he's really not calling this Big Brother, he's calling it Big Boss. Changing the language also. And he's doesn't know the spelling of big. So that's how this entire story started back in those days in 2005, 2006. But yeah, we made significant or smaller changes, I would say, but those have been significant in the way we've kind of dealt with this. And you see that with a lot of other shows as well. We don't call Fear Factor, we call it Khatron Ke Khiladi. It really needs to cut across, the mass India. You want your mother, your sister, your masi, your chachi to really watch this content, then you got to really make them and give them a show that they identify with. And to me, calling it Big Boss was one of the few steps. There's a lot more that we've done. Of course, then we bring in Salman Khan and we bring in, the best housemates. We, localize the house, we adapt the house and really take this, put this format out there. So, that's really how it's, this journey started.
I'm guessing one of the things that you would change is that nobody's allowed to drink inside the Big Boss house, right? Sorry? Rishi, nobody's allowed to drink inside the Big Boss house, which would not be in the case of in the international format, right?
No drinking.
There's no public display of affection, as it were, for lack of a better way of putting it.
None of that. Right. And especially for India, we make it with all our sensibilities. We make it culturally right. We, adapt it for a market. What you see in the house is what you see on air. There's nothing that really is tampered around. It really runs very, very clockwork. And to run 800 days of the show in a calendar year, it has to be run as in a clockwork machine.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say this because this part came up when Namita was introducing this panel of it being scripted or unscripted. The fact is, I find it a huge, huge social experiment. I've done it myself. I spent 24 hours inside the Big Boss house, and there were 13 other journalists, and I have to tell you, by the end, we kind of knew each other, but not so much. By the end of the day, people were fighting. So there is something in the goddamn format. It's not scripted. There's no way you could script that. But you know what? The point is, it's still a bunch of people in a 1 BHK with about 90 cameras being followed around. At some point, they forget that there is a camera. Rishi, how much can you even play with that format? Year after year, how does it evolve? One, of course, it's evolved from television to OTT and online. Take us through that evolution first, and then I'll get to the second part, which is what do you do to tinker with what's already established that can't change in any case?
I think that one thing that we've done from day one and across languages is that we follow the main tenets of the show and the format. We never mess around with that. If it means it's isolation, then it's isolation. If it means no interference, no, talking directly to the contestant, that's followed completely. So there are some basic rules, the tenets, which over the years, and that's kudos to the team, which have followed it to the T. There is no deviation, whichever language. I think how we've evolved, there are two parts to it. I think one is season to season. Season to season, how you work on the show is, because everybody looks at what's going to happen, what's the theme this year, right? So you have to keep thinking that how are you going to differentiate the content while keeping the format, pure.
So when you say theme, what do you exactly mean by theme?
So like this year, we've done a theme called democracy. Rohan will take you through that in detail, but broadly it means that most of the decisions are left to the housemates, which used to be done by Bigg Boss, right? Or we have done in the past something which was Bigg Boss bhi khelega, which became extremely popular, where for the first time Bigg Boss became interactive. He would take part in smaller discussions, in smaller points, have fun with contestants.
Right.
So you keep evolving from that perspective. And region-wise, you also need to look at the sensibilities of the region. Like Arjun is not here. Like in Malayalam, you have a lot of debates that take place, right? That comes from the place where you are. So those debates would become boring maybe for the Hindi show, but are very relevant in the Malayalam show. So you keep these small nuances, you look at what actually works in the market, what people want to see from these 12, 16 people east in a house.
Right. So when you're looking at also the change in format because of the change in medium, when it started out, guys, and now you can all jump in, it's obviously open to each Bigg Boss because the questions will remain the same, the point remains the same. There is one, we used to watch a television show, which was like the highlights of a match. Like a whole day the match has happened and then you do a highlight of a one-day match or a test match, the day's events. The other is because online allows that, you can actually watch this all day. When you're doing this all day, one, does it have viewership? Are there enough people? I'm pretty sure there is viewership because social media, that's really what we do. We live in a Bigg Boss house. We're just checking out what other people are up to. One, is it watched as much? Second, they could do anything, right? So is there a time lag between when you actually see it and when it actually plays or what is being live streamed?
So I think 24/7 has been a phenomena in terms of which Bigg Boss has brought into India. I think you'll be surprised by the amount of number of people who watch this, and they watch it religiously. And the funny part is that, you know, the viewership peaks over the weekends. You have groups of people who post partying have come back home. So suddenly you have peak in viewership post 12:31 because now they've come home and they're all watching Bigg Boss. They all have their point of view. 24/7 is getting streamed over there. That's a very funny thing that happens, that people are so coming back from party and talk about Bigg Boss. From a deferred, because we have to take care of an SNP from a very pure SNP perspective. We defer it by around 20 minutes.
Okay.
We defer it around 20 minutes so that the SNP treatment can be done, because we are very clear on certain topics or certain language that should not be broadcast, irrespective of the platform, whether OTT or...
And that changes the game, right, Deepak, in the sense that you have a phone. Earlier you had one television at home where everyone needs to watch the same thing. But I can technically follow what's going on just because I enjoy Bigg Boss and through the day. That is actually liberating in a certain way, you think?
No, absolutely. I think it's just, Bigg Boss, I think we were caging it in a 1-hour show at night for many, many years.
Yeah.
We just unleashed the lion. And you can see the power of that on just your single TV connected sets. You can see it on live streaming. You can see it on devices. It explodes every night on social media. I mean, we get so much of love and hate at the same time, and there's a lot of consumer feedback.
And there's a parallel economy too, right? These are people who are making money from commenting on it.
The minute the episode ends at 10:30 in the night, it explodes on social media. People taking sides, people trashing the host, people trashing us, all of us. My Twitter timeline and my Facebook timeline, Instagram timeline is hijacked. Like if I post anything, there'd be people cursing me there. So that's the fun or the monstrous part of the show. So it's really, I think, we're blessed with the fact that, streaming has started. We're blessed with the fact that social media kind of, egged us to really make this bigger. But I'll pull back another second. This actually started as an experiment in 2008 when Colors was launching, when the network head then and I were just having a discussion, and the show was a big hit with Shilpa Shetty as the host, and she was just out of the Big Brother UK house and came into Bigg Boss India to host the show. And we said, what if we just start playing the episode live at 12 in the night, just open the tap in the house and just run the content at 12.
Only at midnight.
The midnight feed.
Right.
And we said, let's do it for like a few days. Let's see what happens. And this really started at 12 as an experiment, which was not
on the television.
On TV, on Colors TV. It would rate about 1.5 at 12 in the night. And we said, we'll do it for half an hour. We pretty much ran it till 4 in the morning and people were watching it. and we would see an average, TRP of, 1.5 there at that point in time.
At 4 a.m.
Yeah, and we couldn't really, keep this going for too long. We had to shut it, but then streaming came and opened it up, and then hence, live streaming, and, our partners at Jio Hotstar have also, egged us to really build this into something so big and monstrous. Today, I'm told that cumulatively, Bigg Boss delivers almost 500 million viewers annually, and only growing, which is pretty much half the TV size.
Wow.
So that's really the size and scale. We don't realize it when we create it, when we are in our nooks and corners trying to create this show. But, I think, it's been quite a journey.
My takeaway from this conversation is that there are enough people in this country who would sit and watch Bigg Boss at 4 a.m. If this country has an unemployment problem, I don't know a better statistic to quote. But I have to say, and I'm going to bring you guys in, there is a Bigg Boss in multiple languages. There is obviously not one India. There are multiple Indias, and they live in various parts, between cities and between villages. And they speak, different tongues, as it were, mother tongues, as it were. How does it change from one language to another? And you can speak for your particular language. And I mean here two basic things that will never change, right? One is that you're going to curate the candidates inside. How is that different from what you do and what you see in other languages? And second, of course, is once you've curated it, you bring them inside the house, and then there is a boss. And that boss is usually the movie star. What does he bring into the table?
No, so I think Rohan should be.
Yeah.
So since Hindi has been going on for a while, we have been casting people from mini centers, like we have had people from Haryana, from Bhojpuri industry, and so we do take those markets in. Now what has evolved for us is that because of the digital media boom, and so we have people from OTT, from YouTube, from social media. We have these people.
It's become easier now, you think, Rohan? Like the catchment area has become bigger because everybody's a celebrity in his own right now, from one place to the other.
Right now, how do you quantitate a celebrity? Because someone who has 10 million is a celebrity, but at the same time, someone who has a 2.5 and a 1 billion reach is also a celebrity. So these tick marks are done from our end as well. And at the same time, we want to put in a good mix of people. That's always been the genesis, the nucleus of the show.
Right. So. And how does it change when we go to other languages?
See, when we go to other languages, I feel we are very focused in terms of we know who the audience is. In terms of when you do Hindi, you're catering to a Punjab, you're catering to a UP, you're catering to MP, Bombay. When you're doing languages, you are very clear of who your audience is. And the representation from various mix becomes that much more easy to define, though it is still tricky to get those people in there and get the people who are still... See, the silver bullet is your casting. You get your casting right, your show is doing great. So I feel that is where we come in from. In terms of casting, you get your people who represent your market. And then even when we are designing the entire show and the themes, it has to have a little cultural feel to it. It has to be relevant to them. It has to speak to your audience. And that's where...
So, I mean, the aspect of casting, I understand, would change also because some markets are more conservative than others. There's a Hindi market where you can, it's a huge catchment area. Someone or the other will like this complete randomness that's going on. But when it's Kannada, when it's Malayalam, when it's, you know that these... Is that something you take into account that, listen, this you can't go that berserk. Maybe you can do it in Hindi, but not so much in this particular language. Is that something that you think of? After you?
Yeah. See, of course, in Telugu language, when we come into Telugu, it is, they don't like too much of fights. They do not like too much of action in that sense. But like
they only want it in their movies, huh?
If you look at their films are also a balance of there is a comedy there's entertainment, there is drama, there is action, everything. So that is what they expect from Bigg Boss as well. And that is what we try to deliver to them as well.
What about your language? How is that culturally specific in terms of when you do the casting? Or even for that matter, when you do the tasks? When you give the task, what kind of task will you give? Does that change a little bit?
So over the last couple of years, what we've realized in Karnataka, and especially with Bigg Boss Kannada, is that, it's not just a show, it's a emotion. Whenever it comes, it becomes a state affair. You have the DCM of Karnataka tweeting about the show. So that's the love and respect that the show has in Karnataka. So for the viewers, it's not like a Bigg Boss house that opens for contestants. It's like they are opening their house for these contestants to walk in and they could see them for next 100 days, 100 and 120 days. So in Karnataka, the show is still, it comes at 9:30 and from a grandmom to a teenager watches it together. So the casting becomes a very, very important mix over here. Of course, celebrities are important, but what we normally look out is for underdogs, for characters, for, people who come from, villages, heartland characters who are very rooted, who the people in Karnataka could relate to. And how they are transforming during the course of the season, because these rooted characters that comes from the heartland of the state, they also come with a massive reach on their respective social media. So while they are up and, almost, going with the trends that are happening online, they are very, very rooted. So that's a very, very key point that we look out when we cast for Bigg Boss Kannada.
How does it work with you?
So Maharashtra is a very difficult market to cater because in Maharashtra you have Mumbai, Pune or overall Maharashtra, they watch Hindi content also. Okay, so the thing is there is a comparison with Hindi shows or a Hindi Bigg Boss. Okay, they always want to see bigger faces which appears in Hindi. So Maharashtrian faces who appears in Hindi also, they think that that person should come in a Marathi show. But also there is one more difficult part to handle is, I always say that there are different Maharashtras in one Maharashtra. Okay, there is Mumbai market, Pune market, there is Khandesh, Vidarbha, Western Maharashtra. These different territories has different cultures, different dialect and different personalities. So every territory thinks that, the representative of our side should be there. Also they want somebody like last year we got Abhijit Sawant, who is a national celebrity, but Marathi celebrity. Okay, we got Varsha Usgaonkar, again she is a Bollywood actress, a Marathi actress. Then Nikki Tamboli, who was ex-Hindi Bigg Boss contestant. But also we got some regional hardcore influencers like from Kolhapur or Konkan, all those territories. So catering entire Maharashtra is very difficult because the comparison is with always Hindi. And one thing is, what worked for us in Bigg Boss Marathi, because last year was a huge thing. Again, whenever you see the anchor or the host, Ritesh Deshmukh. So again, Ritesh Deshmukh is catering both the things. Like he is a Bollywood celeb, also is a bhau of Maharashtra. He is a, that Ritesh, the regional flavor of Ritesh works.
Right. So in the sense, Marathi becomes tricky, as you rightly put it, because it's also where Bombay is the capital is Mumbai after all, which is in certain sense also the capital of North Indian entertainment for sure. When you go to say Abhijit Sawant, or for that matter even a Varsha Usgaonkar, do they say, hey man, I'd rather be in the Hindi Bigg Boss? Is that something that they say?
Yeah, it always happened. Like in previous seasons, it always happened that Bigg Boss Marathi winner appeared in the Hindi Bigg Boss, like Shiv Thakre or somebody. So whenever I meet these people, they always say that. But I have a secret magic trick.
Okay.
So I convert them.
How does it change when we go from Mahesh Manjrekar to Ritesh Deshmukh?
Mahesh Manjrekar and Ritesh Deshmukh are two different personalities. Yeah. Mahesh Manjrekar is very, I'll say he has his own style, he's aggressive, you can see in his films also. And Ritesh is very articulate, but yes, he's very firm, he has his opinion. So those are two different things. So I'll always say Mahesh Manjrekar is Dada and Ritesh is Bhau. So that is the different thing. So people have now emotional connect with Ritesh. They always think that, oh, this is my bhau, this is my brother who will take care of the house.
He's not an aggressive guy. He's less Salman.
No, I'm saying he's Ritesh Deshmukh.
Yeah, of course. How does it change when from one big boss to the other when the lead star or the face, as it were, is the regional is not nobody's a regional star, everyone's a star in their own right, but is the figure from the biggest figure from that state. When we go to a Kicha Sudeep or when we go to a Mohanlal for that matter in the case of Malayalam, how does it work for you? Like, is it the same brief that you see given to these people where it started off with Salman, as it were?
For the host, I think it stems in from the personality of the host as well. Like what Salman does in Hindi, his persona is that he is a big boss. You know,
Yeah.
he is big boss. Similarly, for Karnataka, it's Badshah Kicha Sudeep. So
Yeah.
for the people of Karnataka, he is Badshah. But what he brings into the table season after season is that, of course, his personality, which is he's like an elder brother to the housemates. So he scolds them, he guides them. But apart from that, he is pretty invested in the show. He watches every second of the show. He's even watching the live stream of the show. So he's pretty invested. So it's very, very critical for a host to be invested in the show, especially like Bigg Boss when Kicha is hosting it or any host is hosting it, because then the fights and the arguments are about how to better the show.
Right.
Because the opposite person is also equally invested in it. So that's the those are the little bit things that apart from stardom, our hosts bring to the table. So that is very, very important.
How does it work in your language with a new star altogether? Are you defining around the personality of the star, or is there a certain brief that you have regardless that would be Bigg Boss, whichever language it is in?
See, it's very important for the host to bring his own personality in
Right.
it. If the host is, for us it is Nagarjuna in Telugu.
Yes.
He
He's a
has-
quieter figure, right? Much quieter, more like Ritesh Deshmukh than Kicha Sudeep, I'm
Yes,
guessing.
he is not Salman and that,
Yeah.
but he has his own point of view and he's very clear about what he likes, what he doesn't like in terms of how the housemates are going to be. So when he brings that, he becomes the pole star for them, where they wait for it every weekend to figure out what all did they do right or wrong and who's going to get the scolding and who's going to get the praise. And that's how they also somewhere figure out how their game is going to be. So in that sense, it is the brief to him is to be himself, pretty much.
Which is the brief practically to all the big bosses or the faces of the big
Yeah.
bosses.
Yeah.
Okay, it says it's been saying time's up for a while. I'm going to end this conversation for people who claim they don't watch Bigg Boss. I'm going to start with you, Deepak. Over the years that you've been following Bigg Boss as the big boss of the big bosses, as it were, which contestant has been your favorite winner and why? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I do believe that this is a show about survival and approval, something that we need in all our lives, and it also is a Bigg Boss house that we all live in some form or the other. Who's been your favorite winner, and what were the attributes that you perhaps learned from them or would like the audiences know about?
Well, there are lots of seasons now, 19 seasons, too many contestants, lots that I have forgotten over the years as well. But I think some of the memorable ones are the ones who don't win the season. To me, those are the underdogs who are, maybe runners-up or maybe had an unfinished story. So there have been lots of those, celebrities or participants or housemates who really made the mark. One of them I remember was Imam Siddiqui, who was really the terror of the house.
Yeah.
And he really riled up the house, and he had a point of view, and he had a very stark...
And he was being himself, right? I was on a
different
flight with him, he was fighting with everyone there also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what the
So that was one. The second one was when we brought Sunny Leone into the house. Back in those days,
Launched a career.
Yeah,
in a certain
that
sense,
really started off a huge Bollywood career for her.
Yeah.
And lots of those.
Right. That was a great moment to
Yeah,
get
my laundry list
Mahesh
won't
Bhatia into the
stop.
house.
So I think we should pass it on.
Yeah. Rishi?
I think very, very difficult to pinpoint or say that this is my favorite or that is my favorite. Like Deepak was saying, there have been some iconic characters and personalities who've been in the house. I think we all will remember Rakhi Samant from season 1.
Right.
Rakhi, she became a household name post
From that show, yes.
Bigg Boss. or Shehnaz, who came as Shehnaz Gill, who came in as a complete unknown entity, entering the house and actually, doing really well through the show. So there are multiple people, difficult to pinpoint. What we love is the people who are true to, when we are sitting with them, we are casting them, who are true to themselves, who are able to, put themselves out there.
They have zero filter, basically.
Zero filter, and you're not trying to hide behind a mask, right?
Yeah.
Finally you get unmasked in the show.
In any case, yeah.
Any case. So the people who are there, who are, who are taking, are there from in the show from the first day and taking part in the show and are not afraid to show any side of them. I mean, Gautam Gulati was a great example of that. Came in, suddenly changed the norm of what a winner should look like, right? We all had a prototype. So I think lots of them.
Right.
Dhar Shukla was another one who broke that mold. So multiple of them.
Since we're still in Hindi right now, go for your favorite.
So, like they said, it's the journey and the story that they tell inside the house that matters. But I'm not going to cheat the question. I'm going to name winners.
Yes, of course.
So,
come on.
So they've been great winners. There's Gauhar has won the show. She's told an excellent story about herself inside the house. She bared it all. Siddharth Shukla again, even though Shehnaz and other Asim were great competitors with him, but he was a good winner. I think recently MC Stan was a recent winner. So Elvish was a good winner. So all these guys have told a good story inside the house.
You had to pick one.
If I had to pick one,
yeah.
Okay.
That was the point.
I shouldn't have said I'm going to cheat.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheat the question. So I think Gautam Gulati for me was good story that he told. It was a very good story. Yeah.
Right. And this is where I really need to know, because it will give me a chance also to figure out what's happening in Telugu, in Kannada and Marathi. Your favorite personality that emerged from your language, Bigg Boss.
See, again, as there have been many winners, but one who stands out is Rahul Sipliganj. He was a winner of Bigg Boss. Right. Abhishek was there in that season. He was a winner. He went on to become an Oscar winner later. So his was a story from pretty much being a non-star, nobody knew of him, to being put on the center stage. Beyond that, there have been other, people have our season 5 winner, Sunny. He was a very popular TV face. He left his show on another channel, waited a year so that he could come into this show, showed the hunger and won the show. It's basically, at the end of the day, it's also the hunger for the show.
Right.
That makes you...
Kannada?
So, to start off with, I think I second Mr. Deepak. There are two kinds of players. One who is a season winner, and then there are other who are season makers. Right. So, in terms of Bigg Boss Kannada season makers, Vinay and Sangeeta season 10, each and every cast that comes in, each and every audience member still remember them because of things they brought in to the show. And for the winner, I would say season 11 winner, Hanumantu. He came in as a wild card. He's a shepherd, he's a folk singer, came in as a wild card and became the winner of the show, hands down.
Ketan, do you have a favorite, or are you going to knock it like Deepak?
No. I'll say it. So basically, as a season maker, I'll say Abhijit Bichukle, Rakhi Sawant, Nikki Tamboli, they were always...
Rakhi Sawant went back to the Bigg Boss house.
Bigg Boss Marathi also.
And she won that?
No, she didn't win. She was there in the finale, and she was most talked about season of the contestant of that season.
She gave you the ratings, all right.
Yeah, obviously. And so much entertainment. She was entertaining. But I'll say favorite winner, the last year winner, Suraj Chawant. I'll take his name because the day we launched the episode and his entry happened, entire internet was against us. Everybody was saying he's a cringe content maker, he's this, that, why are you getting him, you are screwing the Marathi culture and this, that. And after 1 week, everybody was praising him because as a personality, he's a very good person. Okay, and he won the hearts, and he won the hearts like how? Like he was a one-side winner. And that's what I'll say the turnover or the changeover of the personality happens. So that's why he'll be my one of the favorite winners.
I guess that's what it takes to win the hearts of the public in order to win Bigg Boss. But I have to say, for everyone on this panel who have worked on Bigg Boss over so many years, you are the real winners. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you.